Welcome to Port Blair. It's the capital of the Andaman and Nicobar Islands, which is India's fastest growing tourist destination. And on this video, we're going to talk about this city, the islands in general, and just why that is.
Welcome to my island.
So the Andaman and Nicobar Islands is an archipelago of 572 islands. Most of them are uninhabited. There's definitely one that you can't go to. You've probably heard of it. It's the famous North Sentinel Island. Also the actual Nicobar Islands. For a lot of tourists, especially international tourists, it's very difficult to get to. You need permits, you need certain permissions and all that. But many of the islands are accessible to domestic and to international tourists, and it's certainly a growing place. Considering about 5 or 6 years ago you actually needed permits to come to these islands, a lot has changed in that time, and this is somewhere that is definitely opening up to more and more tourism. So first off, let's look at one of the big reasons why. It's mainly because of this that you can see behind me. The Veer Savarkar International Airport. It's brand new to the city of Port Blair. It was only opened around 6 months ago, and as it is a brand new international airport, it opens up many routes from mainland India here to the Andamans, and also very soon will accept international flights into the islands as well. Now unfortunately I couldn't film any closer because the international airport here also doubles up as the Navy airport, and I did ask if it's possible at the signs which say you can't, but I asked anyway, and they just said no, because it's a defence area, you're not allowed to film it. So that's as close as we could get. And when I was here last year, this airport wasn't open, and I can tell you just from being here 12 months ago to now, there is a lot more, certainly domestic tourism that comes to the islands, and more international tourism as well. So the main island of the Andamans is known as South Andaman. It's where I am right now. It's where the city of Port Blair is located. So if you're interested in the history of these islands, there's definitely places here on South Andaman in Port Blair where you can learn all about that. Now behind me is the cellular jail in Port Blair. And this place is a museum dedicated to a lot of the history of this island, which is very much connected to the freedom fighters and very connected to the British colonial history. This certainly is a tourist spot for domestic and international tourists who really do want to learn about the history of this area. Also, like this island that you see behind me, it's called Ross Island. And Ross Island is quite popular with tourists, domestic and international, because it acts as a museum, especially connected to the British colonial history here on the Andaman Islands. This island was first used by the British to set up their base during the times that they actually conquered these Andaman Islands. You can find out about all that history visiting the island. Not only is it connected to the British colonial history, but it also talks a lot about the Japanese World War II invasion, which is why you get this behind me, which is a Japanese World War II bunker. And you get memorials dedicated to some of the battles that happened on these islands. Memorials dedicated to the natural disasters that have happened in this place, like the major 2004 tsunami, which happened just out in the Andaman Sea. Not only did the tsunami cause quite a lot of deaths on these islands, but it also actually affected the landscape quite a lot, especially on some of the smaller islands. Many of the coastlines were affected, altering them forever. With Port Blair being like a focal point and the capital of the Andamans, you get a lot of tour shops where you're able to purchase tours. Some of the islands are quite close, like they may only be a 2-hour ferry ride away, or some of them are actually more like 10-12 hours ferry ride. Islands like Little Andaman, which is I think the most southern Andamanese island here on the Andaman and Nicobar. They offer complete packages of travel and stays within the island. Also here in Port Blair, you get the jetty that you can see behind me. Now the jetty here is a connection to all the islands among Andaman and Nicobar. If you're going to travel to any other island from Port Blair, chances are it's going to be leaving out of that jetty. The government ferries leave from there, and the private ferries too, especially the ferries that leave for Havelock and Neil Island, that are the most popular islands for tourists here. And on those islands you'll find a lot of natural untouched beauty. You'll find gorgeous white sand beaches, natural jungles, and also what those islands offer due to the fact that you don't get saltwater crocodiles inhabiting them, is you find a lot more water sports. You can go scuba diving. A lot of people go there to go snorkeling. I did scuba diving there myself. Make sure you check out the video from that. So these islands really offer a lot, and like I spoke earlier in the video about the opening of the brand new international airport, you find that tourism here is growing. I was here 12 months ago, and even I've seen it firsthand how much, especially the smaller islands like Neil Island, how busier it's become in just 12 months. And this is the Marina. It's a place situated along the coast. They offer certain things here like some water sports, the whole jet ski, the sorts of usual things that you get in a coastal area. However, you really wouldn't want to be on the beach here. The beaches are not too good at all, and there's many signs which warn you about swimming in the waters here. But at the marina here, you get a lot of people that come to walk up and down, especially at night time. I'll show you this place later at night time. But yeah, it's just a bit of a peaceful place. It's hard to be here in the day because the sun is so strong. This place has a lot of domestic tourism due to the big cities like Delhi and Mumbai. From people that I've met from them cities, they kind of just love to get out the big city. And what the Andaman provides is some untouched, really gorgeous nature and tropical islands. And that's why you get a lot of people coming here. So here on South Andaman, you do get some incredible beaches. One of them known as Marina Park. It's a very quiet, peaceful area for tourists to go, but you are unable to swim in the waters down there, and that is due to the fact that you get saltwater crocodiles that exist and live around this South Andaman island. And also on the west side of South Andaman, you get an absolute gorgeous beach called Wandor Beach. It's beautiful for the sunset, and a lot of people go there for that. But again, unfortunately, you're not allowed to swim in the waters due to the threat of the saltwater crocodiles. But here, you can. Welcome to Corbyn's Cove. Someone was just telling me that they have setups and they have things in place to make sure that they can check for crocodiles and bait them away. So these waters are able to have more water sports. They have things like kayaking, and you're able to actually go into the water and swim, something you're unable to do on most of the beaches here on South Andaman. And it's just a really gorgeous beach to be on as well. So if you want the beach experience and you want to go swimming in the ocean here, but you don't want to go to any of the smaller islands, then Corbyn Cove is the place for you to come. I was actually on this beach for the Holi celebration, and it was amazing. If you haven't already, go check out my Holi videos on the best festival in the whole world. This beach is located about 2 kilometers away from the hustle and the bustle of the city. So it's quite close enough to get to very easily, and it's really quite accessible. It cost me 100 rupees in a tuk-tuk. I'm not sure whether I overpaid or not. He tried to charge me 150, but I said that was way too much. So he dropped it to 100. So we've seen Port Blair in the daytime. Let's watch it come alive at night. Abberdeen Bazaar in Port Blair. This is the main street of the whole city. It's only quite small, and you get a lot of the markets around. You've got a lot of market stores still back behind me that way. So you get lots of shops here, lots of stores selling absolutely everything you could imagine. We've got pharmacies here, we've got electronic shops, we've got clothes stores, we've got cafes, we've got restaurants. My go-to restaurant in this city is right here. And it's that place behind me there, the Hotel Milan Hotel and Restaurant. I go there for pretty much breakfast every day. I love the craziness of the street. It's so bright, it's so lit up. It's much busier at night time than it is in the daytime. You just gotta avoid being hit because it's quite hard to walk on the actual pathway because it's so busy. So a lot of people walk on the road, and of course that brings its own problems. There's the temple here as well for people who want to come worship. You get the mosque as well, like this one here behind me. This street is crazy and I absolutely love it. So we're back at the marina, which you saw earlier on this video, and at night time this place just ends up being so busy. As soon as the sun goes down and it gets a little bit cooler, you get a lot of families that like to be out here. You get a lot of couples that come here walking. You get a lot of tourists here as well, I guess. It's a really nice place to just come and chill, hang out. Lots of people take photos. There are a lot of families. You get a lot of families here. One thing I love about this place, you can see the light posts. They're wrapped in the 3 colours of the Indian flag, orange, white and green. You get some fast food stores a little bit further down. Stark comparison to how you saw it in the daytime. It's okay to walk along here in the daytime, but it's very hard to just sit and be here. These fast food places you can see behind me, they don't open until about 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Just love how busy it is. It's a flag point. So this place is a bit of a memorial to the time that this flag was actually erected, but it serves as a very nice spot for people to come again with their families. A lot of couples come here. Just a proper chill out outdoor spot that you can be in at night time where the weather's cooler. So after seeing this video, let me know in the comments, would you come to the Andaman and Nicobar Islands? And I'll see you on the next one.
Welcome to my island, party.